Hi there guys, it's Joel here from Aussie Chart Trends. Today's market update is for Thursday the 11th of October 2012. Today we're going to be checking out the smp500 firstly, and we're going to take a look at the asx200. Before we get into today's update, I've just got to remind everyone that aussiecharttrends.com.au and this video are for educational purposes only. Nothing stated at the site or in this video is intended to be used as any form of investment advice. I'm not a licensed professional. You need to make your own decisions regarding your investments. I'm just here to help anyone searching for a practical direction in today's markets. Okay guys, so let's take a look on the hourly chart of the S&P 500. In yesterday's video, we were discussing that this market looked fairly weak and that we needed to see the market get back over this area here for any strength. Now, we had this top line up here also that I had drawn, and we've been looking at a potential double top formation. Just adjust the chart a little bit, that's better. And we can see here in yesterday's video we were talking about this this top line here, how this looks as if it may be a double top formation. Now in last night's trade, look where we had a bounce exactly right on this area. We need this line to hold up, and we may be potentially now seeing a back test on this blue line somewhere. Now, it is hard to say what the market will do from this point on. It does look as if that we have got like a little descending bullish wedge pattern where the markets have found a little area of constriction, and the selling pressure has waned to a point where it looks as if the market may want to come back out and back test this blue line. Now, where we get that breakout, we may head on up to as high as the 1455 area. We may head up a little bit higher, and we may be looking at even a triple top formation. So we just have to keep our eye on whether this is just going to be a double top formation or a potential triple top. If in tonight's trade that this red line breaks, well, we could expect that the markets will then probably move most likely down to around that 1400 area. Now, we do have a few areas of support left on the chart, well, one only really, around that 1423 area, and then we probably have a move down, eventually down to this red line here. Now, this red line, I'd say we should probably most likely get a bounce. If we do come down in tonight's trade, and eventually we get down to this area by early next week, I would say that this would be fairly strong support around that 1400 area. The reason being is if I zoom the chart out even more, clearly we can see over here on this left hand side, we thought that this may have been a little head and shoulders topping formation up here. As we can see though, we may be looking at a larger head and shoulders topping formation. Head and shoulders top formations, they can produce double top formations within those patterns and even triple top formations. So there is a few interesting patterns going on at the moment. For me to be bullish on this market at all, we'd have to get on up back into this channel, back over this blue line, and get over the 1470 area. Now, I don't really think that that's going to happen, but never say never. That's why I do these market updates every day, because market moves, small market moves, can actually change a lot of things. So it'll be interesting to see in tonight's trade if we do get that breakout and if we can get back into this blue channel. So in summary, if we get a bounce tonight, let's see if we can get up above this blue line here on the chart. This does look like a little descending bullish wedge pattern. But if not, and the markets just plummet in tonight's trade, I expect that we'll have that 1423, 1425 area hold as support. If that breaks, well then I'd say we'd have a good bounce here around that 1400 area. So let's now take a look at the asx200 on the hourly chart and see what's going on there. And hopefully we can get a good clue as to what to expect out of the asx200 in the coming weeks. In yesterday's video, we were talking about if the markets were to come down, that we should probably find an area of support on this 4,465 area, and we did get a bounce just around this area today before rallying on back up. After bouncing here on our support level, the markets proceeded to rally on up to backtest this broken yellow trend line. So in tomorrow's trade, if we backtest this area and then we start to peter back down, well, I would say then we'll probably maybe get a bounce on this area again around that 4,470 area. Now, just to add another bit of interesting information into this little symmetrical triangle pattern that we had over here, If you've been watching my videos, you'd know that we've spoke about symmetrical triangle patterns, and if you draw a line up the center of this little pennant pattern, we can see where the market's exactly back tested, right on the apex of this pattern here. Now that's an area where the buyers and the sellers, that was an area of indecision there, and after the markets have rallied on up, we've come back down, and right around this area we've resisted off and the buying pressure is kicked back in. Don't ask me why that happens, but it does happen a fair bit. The market loves to come back down and test areas of an apex, just as we have in the past. So guys, this looks fairly toppy to me, but let's just see what happens with the S&P 500 tonight. If their market rallies up fairly hard for a back test on that blue line, well, we could expect then that if we get over this area, we've got all the way up until this point up here, and we've probably got a small area here of resistance on the chart also. But for now, guys, just be safe, and we could be looking at a potential top in the S&P 500. And guys, it does look fairly bearish, but everything is a potential at the moment, and trading is a potential. There's nothing is a guaranteed thing. A lot of chartists, a lot of people who read these charts and do videos, they make these very bold calls, and they say that they know what is going on exactly. But the truth is that technical analysis, I give it personally 75 to 85%, and there's always going to be a time when I'll get it wrong, and there's always going to be a time when I may get it right. But for now, guys, we just have to work on our support level around that 4,465 and our resistance level around that 4,500 area. That pretty much wraps up today's market update, guys. I'll be back on Saturday with the weekly review. Thanks very much for watching.